Letting go and letting God, the art of surrender in Salesian Spirituality. Today, we reflect on a deeply transformative aspect of Salesian Spirituality, the art of surrender. In a world that idolizes control and self sufficiency, St. Francis de Sales offers us a liberating alternative, one that brings true peace and freedom. What does surrender mean? Surrender for St. Francis de Sales is not weakness or passive resignation. It's a courageous and deliberate act of entrusting our lives to God's providence. He calls it the virtue of virtues, rooted in charity, flowered by humility, and bearing the fruit of perseverance. At its core, surrender is built on love and trust. We believe in a God who loves us beyond measure. When this truth settles in our hearts, letting go becomes possible. We are no longer clutching control, but opening our hands to His divine guidance. Let us also be clear. Salesian surrender is not quietism. It is not indifference. It is a dynamic cooperation with God's grace, what St. Francis de Sales calls an ecstasy of action. Letting go, the three simple but radical steps. First, releasing control. We often try to script our lives, yet, as St. Francis de Sales gently reminds us, God's plan exceeds our own. We are invited to trust the unseen hand that is always at work for our good. Secondly, abandoning self-will. Like Jesus in Gethsemane, we learn to say, "Not my will, but yours be done." This is the essence of surrender, to love God's will more than our own. Thirdly, accepting imperfection. Salesian spirituality invites us to accept our flaws with gentleness. We strive for virtue, yes, but we also rest in God's mercy. Surrender here means embracing the present moment, not when we are perfect, but as we are. The third point for our reflection today is letting God the practice of daily surrender. Prayer becomes our sacred dialogue of surrender. It's not only speaking but listening, a conversation where God lovingly guides our choices. A spiritual retreat, even just a moment of recollection amid our duties, allows us to pause and reconnect with God's love. We need discernment and often wise counsel. St. Francis de Sales encourages us to seek out spiritual companions who help us stay aligned with God's will. And yes, we must carry our daily crosses. Surrender doesn't mean escape from suffering. It means embracing it with trust, believing that even our trials have meaning when united with Christ. The fourth point for our reflection today is the fruits of surrender. What happens when we live this way? Inner peace, a calm that anchors us even in life's storms. Freedom from anxiety. Worry loses its grip when we remember who is in control. Increased love and charity. As we let go of self, we become freer to love others generously. Joyful obedience. Obedience becomes not burdensome but beautiful, a joyful yes to God who loves us. The fifth point, Mary, the model of perfect surrender. Mary's fear, "Let it be done to me," is the greatest expression of surrender. She did not see the whole plan, but she trusted the one who did. Like her, we are called to humility and availability. She teaches us that surrender is not a loss, but a gain, the door to God's most wondrous works. The sixth point for our reflection today is challenges to surrender. We face three main hurdles. The illusion of control. We often think we are in charge. St. Francis de Sales gently shows us true freedom comes when we align ourselves with God's will. Secondly, fear of the unknown. The future can be frightening, but if we trust in God's presence, we can step forward in faith. Thirdly, self-distrust. We may doubt ourselves or our worthiness, yet God chooses the weak to do His will. Surrender starts with trusting not in ourselves but in His love. The seventh point for reflection today is live Jesus through surrender. The motto Live Jesus reaches its fullness in surrender. To live Jesus is to embody His gentleness, humility, and love. It is to bloom where we are planted, trusting that we are exactly where God needs us to be. A final call, trust and abandonment. Dear friends, surrender is not a step backward. It is a leap forward into the arms of God. In surrender, we discover who we truly are, beloved children held in grace. Let us then walk this Salesian path of surrender, letting go and letting God. Let Mary lead us, let Jesus live in us, and let our lives become a beautiful echo of that eternal yes to the loving will of the Father. Live Jesus.